Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Dead Space 2 on Zealot difficulty, and this is my guide and walkthrough for completing the game on this difficulty without getting hit a single time. We're on chapter 7 of 15, and it does have its one difficult section, and it's a longer chapter. So if you're unfamiliar with what this guide is, it's not perfection, but it's me doing every section without getting hit. So what I do is I keep playing until I don't get hit. Simple as that. I try to do my best to try to implement. I'm trying to implement new strategies from the walkthrough that I did several years back, where I just did a run of hardcore and put annotations on them. So the hard section is coming up, and it took me. It was less than an hour and a half, but it wasn't much more than an hour. Like an hour, just somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes, but closer to 60 than 90. And what it is an assault on a centrifuge that you're in. I think it's a centrifuge or whatever this is. I don't know what it is. It's just an elevator, some kind of an elevator. Just remember to get the power nodes in here. At any time, if you get the respec schematics, then you can swap out what you need. So actually, I use the respec feature to take everything out of my plasma cutter, take all the nodes out for 5,000. So what it is you give the game, or the bench, you have to sacrifice 5,000 credits, and that will enable you to take off as many power nodes from a weapon as you want to. So it benefits you the most to find what weapon you have the most nodes on, and then take all those off so that you could reapply them wherever you want to. And I'm going to put them back on the plasma cutter, but for now what I wanted was to outfit the detonator so that I have more capacity. Now this is the hard part, and not only is it hard, but it's extremely frustrating because you have to. I'm going to leave this in real time to try to evoke a sense of what this is, but the checkpoint is outside of this, and you have to ascend every single time and wait for the assault of the tripods. I don't know how many there are, but what I'm going to do, since I don't have the force gun, ironically you get the force gun after this. So if you want to use the force gun DLC, go for it, but like I said, I'm not using DLC. I'm getting all the guns in the order that the game distributes them. So I have the detonator, and it's a really good weapon. It doesn't require very much aiming on your part to shoot them. Put the sensitivity as high as you can without sacrificing your aim here, and just keep swiveling the camera around this entire thing. If you have to, stasis them, and just be conscious of how many rounds you have left. I think I have 6. I think this thing holds like 7 or 8. But what these guys do, they don't look too aggressive, do they? But occasionally they'll try to jab at you, and sometimes there will be 2 like right in front of you. Sometimes there will be one in front of you, one behind you. You're going to get hit from behind, but as long as you can keep swiveling the character and just shooting these detonator mines at them, it's really good because they're extremely strong. They serve the purpose of the force gun more or less. What the force gun would do would just knock them back, and this is exactly what this weapon is doing here. It has no dangerous, the mines can kill you, but there's no danger of that, since we're basically just using these as bullets, not as mines that these guys are going to trip over, because they don't even come inside. But breathe a sigh of relief after that, because it's fucking difficult and tedious to have to keep going up there every time. That right there has taken the most amount of time for a single a single part of this where I was trying to not take any damage. So let's hope it doesn't get too bad, but I suspect it will, because I know of a couple of gauntlets in this game that are going to be pure fucking hell. Now, if you die over here, you do get a checkpoint, so there's no need to worry about that. But make sure that you collect everything over here. And I think this one right there that I couldn't get, I think that was a drop from a tripod that just fell out and landed over there, because ordinarily you could pick those up. But just watch out for these things. You know, ideally you don't want to shoot them with anything, but I kind of like shooting them with the Seeker rifle. And when you think about it, when all is said and done and you've completed the game, you're gonna have extra stuff, but you know, just don't be afraid to shoot your weapon, but be conscious that you're not overusing, you know, you're just not overusing some things that might easily be dealt with in a smarter way. So now this here, sometimes I have gotten damaged by that, but since I didn't get damaged, I just ran with it, fortunately. So just be very, very careful as you come in there. And then when you go in here, there's a couple more of these cysts here. One there, and that is perhaps all. So we're going to go to the save point. The door is inaccessible because we need some identification from a course on the other side. Another thing, I said this in Dead Space 1, but I hate the fact that they always have the reticle for the plasma cutter in the vertical position. It never stays the way you had it before. I like it in... I rarely have it in the vertical position. I hate that. I also hate the way that when you restart after a death, it doesn't have the gun that you died with. So... Anyway, so once you use him to ID yourself, you're going to come in here and just get used to these. Now, these are yellow mines. I'm sorry about the opera, but I just got in and I wasn't able to listen to my program, and now I'm going to listen to it, and I don't care if it's on here, because Saturday nights are a ritual. The program used to be on Friday nights. If you ever want to listen to the opera program, every Saturday, I tweet it out, and it has a link there, and I always say something like, "Enjoy your fucking shit fests, motherfuckers," in the most good-natured way, obviously, with no malice or ill will intended. I'm just joking, but that's your big opportunity to follow the link and start supporting the show like you should be. So when you come in here, shoot the compression glass. Obviously, I don't care what you listen to. You know, I'm not even a big music person. I just like opera because it's relaxing and classical music. So shoot that out. This is actually a tricky room. Not because it's extremely difficult, just because there's a lot of options. Sometimes when there are too many options, things can get difficult. So we're going to have one guy coming out of that vent, one guy coming out of this vent. So I'm going to put... a mine on the pipe. Come up to here. You'll set the trip wire so that the mines come off. That leaper's dead. Actually, you know what? It's difficult. I don't know who comes out of the. I think the leaper comes out of one or the other vent. So what I did by placing those mines in front of the two vents was that I made sure that no matter what vent he came out of, he had a mine to run into. And then when you come in here, what you want to do is just funnel all these exploding babes your way. And then I don't know where the checkpoints are here, so if you follow my protocol, you will get past this. But there are no more enemies until you interact with this. I suspect the checkpoint is right here. So in this venue, you might want to take note of the stasis modules. Not the modules, but the stasis canisters. They're very helpful. When you come out of here, though, you'll have a leaper coming up on the top. If see where he is? See where he came out right there? He sometimes will come to the right. It kind of depends on where your character's looking. But once he is dispatched, you'll have 2 more slashers to take care of, and then that will be the totality of the foes on this floor. So you just want to walk up a ways, walk over the tripwire point, fall back. Here he comes. That's the second one. Look at his fucking face, man. That face. And then the next one is going to come out of the grating on the floor. That grating every single time. And we impaled him to the wall. I love that. You can do that with the javelin gun too, but I don't really like the javelin gun. I don't want to get in over my head with too many weapons. But I don't see a problem with getting all the weapons if you don't go hog wild trying to outfit everything. But it's going to be your campaign ultimately, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, except for these tactics that I hope are going to benefit you. So when you come up here, even though that leaper jumped out of that vent, you're going to have another one jumping out. So place that to greet the slasher, who just went into about 4 pieces, didn't he? So that's a little jump scare right there, although you will have to fight that guy in a couple rooms from now. So move that, drop that, pick up something to throw. I like to pick up one of these canisters. Grab another one because there will be another one of the yellow mines. See that shaft right there, that vent? Someone's going to come out of there, and I laid a trap for him, but he didn't. He went right through it. Sometimes when they jump out, the vent gets destroyed, and then the enemy is safe as he comes out. So that's what happens actually right here. See that? It's fast, but that's what happens. So how do you prevent that? Multiple mines placed in different directions, horizontal and vertical. That's how to prevent that. But it does come at the cost of wasting extra mines, but they're not too much money. And that's it, and you'll get a checkpoint once you save your progress. And when I pick up this impaling spear, watch. I don't like this about this game. Watch as I carry it. Watch as it disappears. Disappeared for no fucking reason. That has been happening so often to me that I am getting a little perturbed. So here's half of a stalker. And we'll have one more full stalker. Now this woman is in the way a little bit, but look, bitch thought he could hide from me. Bitch thought he could hide from me. With him out of the way though, make sure you get on this quick because there is a timer. I would not recommend upgrading your air for the suit. It's completely worthless. Don't waste your nodes on that. And then in the mainframe room, it's very particular about how it works. But I have the definitive way of doing this. First thing you want to do is grab the line racks on the floor. And then there are 3 paths. The path of the warrior, the path of the mentor, and the path of the master ninja. So I'm going to speed up every time that I go through the vents. You want to go this way first because the way I'm doing it is the quickest and most expedient way. Take that off, you'll have about 3 of these parasites to shoot them. You don't want to take a hit here. And do you see the design on the floor to the right? You might not. But there is a certain way that these need to be placed. When you place them in and they turn red, that means you've placed it in the wrong receptacle. Or you've placed the wrong thing in the wrong receptacle. So if you just want to follow what I'm doing, just do that. If you're wondering how I know this information, it's because see that on the floor right there. It tells you. Now when we get to the other side, what we want to do is have the lights on those blocks turn purple so that we can go into the secret room, which is essentially a miniature Scrooge McDuck vault, because it has a whole bunch of shit, including the Peng statue that's worth, I think, 35,000. So come out here, reroute. Oh no, we've already done that, sorry. Okay, so this guy spawns after you take all the panels off and after you remove one block. So I'm going to lay a trap for him, take that off, and then he's not coming yet because I haven't taken this last panel off. Take this off. Here he comes. These guys have more HP, so sometimes they don't get killed, as you saw right there. If we upgrade the damage, he would have got killed for those mines. But he's not much of an issue. So the first thing we're going to do, instead of going through with the panel and making these green, we need to make these purple. So the combination is actually... is there a combination? I believe there is. It's next. It's to the right. You should see it. If not, it's just a secret that you need to do. So once those are all purple, yeah, you'll see these lights lighting up purple. So press this to reroute it, and then we'll go into Scrooge McDuck's money vault over here. There's a power node. See a power node. A large med pack to sell back for big time cash money. A ruby, at least $100,000 worth of shit in here. So now what we're gonna do is go back to the room that we were previously in, and then take all these off. None of them are in the correct spots, and then we need to place all the blocks so that they're green. So that one goes there. This one goes here, so on and so forth, and then you'll get the panel to interact with. This could be really, really confusing if you're new to the game, but that is the definitive way to do it. So touch the panel so that it reroutes. If you don't touch the panel, you'll be back in the vault, but you can get out of it. And then when you come back here, you're allotted a checkpoint, place a mine, stasis, and the energy mine should kill both of them. Get your loot. And then once you're clear, there's going to be two enemies. The first one I'm going to take out with a mine. Now you can smash these or shoot them. I would recommend the former so that you don't waste bullets. And then by the time you've taken out 3 or 4, you'll hear this guy getting killed. And then when the next guy comes, freeze him and fuck him up. Take that and get stuck to the wall, bitch. We're coming up on a save point, but we do have some more tribulations to endure. So keep smashing and bashing, and listen, it's a feminine HAL 9000.
Anti offline.
Okay, so now that we've been told anti-offline, that guy's going to fall on you, but unlike Ninja Gaiden 3, you don't receive crude, unacceptable damage. Now, I've forgotten the name of these things down here. I don't know what they are, but they're an annoyance, because every time you die in the section with the leapers and the lurkers coming up, you're back into this room. And I would just use the seeker rifle. It's one hit. You can zoom in. If they jump on you, obviously you'll need to restart unless you're playing it on hardcore and you're not doing no damage. So I've completed this chapter, and I've completed the next chapter, and now I'm on chapter 9. So I haven't done this entire campaign no damage, so I don't know what's going to be later in store for me. Am I worried? Honestly, yes, I am worried. I've never done this before without taking damage. So just collect all the boxes in here, kill the cysts, and then you're gonna have a leaper jumping over the rails right here. And pretty soon, if you're hard up for money here, you presently will not be, because you'll be able to cash in all the stuff that you just got. So there is a stasis canister. Take out the lurker. I did this pretty slowly, and just did some casual strafing with the lurkers, and I still managed to get through it. So grab this, fall back, take care of the leaper right away. Unfortunately, if you save it and then die, or save it and reload, the money that these enemies are dropping, and which is falling down into the lower area where we began this, not this chapter, but this particular zone, it will disappear on you. So that was my mistake over here, to not get it before I died and tried looking for it again. But with those enemies, all you do is you strafe when they go for their missile throws, and then we'll go to a node room door. Always save your progress before one of those, so that if you get undesirable contents, that you can keep restarting. But there will be one more animal coming out, if I'm not mistaken. There he is. There's the beast. There's the piece of fucking dog shit. So TK impalement plus 100% is what you just witnessed right there. And he's dead. He's a dead, shitty bitch. So what do we have in here? Contact beam. That's definitely going to be useful. We'll get that. Get these med packs for later resale. And that's it. And just an aside over here. Oh, pick that up. That's worth 3,000, the gold one. Okay, so on my hardcore run, the save point right over here, where I'm going to right now, was my first save point on hardcore. So I would get from the beginning of the game all the way up until here, save my progress, and that would be save. That would be my first save, because they permit you 3 saves. That would be the first one. So if I had died anywhere previous to that, I would be back at the beginning of the fucking game. And my reason for that is because of the flying sequence right near the end of the chapter, which, you know, a death can come out of nowhere. But unfortunately, if that is your save, then you'll have to do this every time, which can be kind of tedious, because you always do want to collect all the items over here. So there's going to be one of these large cysts here. I find that the detonator works the best on these guys. It's a little bit random, but you might find yourself getting an instant kill with the detonator on its particular pods there. So that's the only threat out here, aside from suffocation. But after this, I believe I'll have everything in fast forward as I go around and collect the 10 or so boxes that are around this venue, and then we'll be moving 2 solar panels and then moving on. So I think that getting to that save point that I mentioned is pretty damn good for a first save. I mean, that's chapter 7. That's actually about halfway through the game. I can't remember where my other saves were, but I could find out and let you know later if you are interested. But that one was one that I'll never forget, just because I died so many times in that flying sequence. And there just comes a point where you don't want to push it anymore. So with these, just use the objective locator to find these. Press the right bumper to orient yourself to the x-axis, and then interact with it where the magnet is, and then you'll be moving it with the right analog stick, and just drag it thusly. That's the first of the two. And usually when you're dragging stuff, they have different waves of enemies coming out, if you're familiar with Dead Space, but not here. There's even a flying sequence at the very end of the game that you can die on. Actually, I do know where my last save was. I don't know where my second save was, but my last save was right before the eye poker machine. So when you come back in here, we're going to do that flying section, and I never wanted to leave these up to chance. And I honestly don't think it's fair that if you die here, it counts as a death. It should only be combat deaths. It shouldn't be this. But anyway, you've got the booster with the left bumper if you need to get out of a jam quickly. But sometimes it can be deceptive what's, just especially something like this when you're in this cylinder needing to pull up at the last second. Even here, I've died on that many times. It doesn't matter how good you think you are or how good you are. You can easily die in something like that, if you're not giving full concentration to the game. But anyway, you just come in here, and this section is potentially very difficult, but all we're going to be doing is kiting these kids and the one slasher that spawns. There are some leapers, but I don't think it ever gets that far if you just kite the kids. So at this point, when I cashed in everything, the ping statue, all the large healing med kits, I had 65,000. So I bought all power nodes, and by at the end of the next chapter, I will have my plasma cutter all the way upgraded, as well as my stasis module, and I'll be beginning to start powering up the detonator and the seeker rifle. So grab all the boxes here that you possibly can. Now, the kids will never be able to catch up with you. The one slasher that you'll have coming out here at about like the 30-second mark, he can catch up with you, but only if you look at him and he starts sprinting towards you. That you can't outrun. So just like in Devil May Cry games where you don't train the camera on enemies, just don't look at him. If you happen to glance at him, just move the camera back quickly. They don't suffer to be looked at without charging you. So all you need to do here, I think you've got 4 kids chasing you. You just don't want to kill the kids, because if you kill the kids, then you're going to have slashers and I believe lurkers and leapers. Just a whole host of dangerous stuff. So there's the guy right there. We did see him, but we're just going to move the camera off him real quickly and just take for granted that they're chasing you. They're never going to cut you off. They're just going to go exactly the way you're going. And it's just one of those stupid time sequences where Ellie's trying to fix the door, and it's just an old cliche. And of course, whenever she unlocks the door, you're on the opposite side. And I think at that point I cut my way through here. And I don't think any of these enemies can come through the door, but don't trust what I say, because if they're close enough to you, they might be able to get you. And that is the end of the chapter, you guys. I want you to take care of yourselves and brace yourselves for Chapter 8. Take care.